Strap in, Red. It's going to be a long one. Oh, look at that. He's bored already. Hey, folks. Uniservo here. Kutztown Spring 2021 show is over. And, well, perhaps you saw the video walkthrough that I posted, about a week ago or so? If you saw that video, you'd see that it was actually a pretty good show. Maybe not as busy as some years, but not too bad considering, the times. There was a lot of good stuff there, a lot of business going on. And yeah, someone commented that, oh, gee, it looked like a slow show because they didn't see much business stuff being bought. Well, with Kutztown, that's a long show. It's like an all-day show that lasts kind of 2.5 days. So there's no real rush to get things done. It's pretty laid back. So yes, there was plenty of business happening. I did okay. Got rid of some good stuff. Got rid of some crummy stuff too that I wanted to go away. And I bought a bunch of stuff. And that's what we're going to do in this video. Specifically the tubes, because I bought a lot of tubes. Bags of them. In fact, this is the first bag of 5. And, well, we're going to paw through them and show you what I bought. Some of it's pretty neat stuff. Some of it's just so-so, but a good deal. Some of it's tubes I can use. But hey, why not just go through and look at them all? Okay, well, let's get started on bag number 1. And yeah, as you know, I do like 30s tubes, 1930s tubes. And yeah, some of the stuff is just kind of plain, nice old Philco 6C6 used in lots of stuff. Now, yeah, this is a roughly 1940 because you can see it has the MR, maintenance and repair. So this was right at the beginning of World War II. And, throughout World War II, these were tubes specifically marked, for fixing the civilian radios because so many of the tubes were going to the military market. And we've got this National Union. Well, it's another 6C6. I mean, it's a very popular tube. And yeah, looks like another, roughly World War II, 1941 or so. Crummy box, but who cares? This one guy had tubs and tubs of tubes, this one dealer, 50 cents a piece. I mean, untested, sure. Unsorted, untested, but just bins and bins of tubes. Well, great deals, come on. And here we've got just an RCA 24. The thing I found interesting about this is, and we're going to see, actually says Type 24A. The tube marked. It's a branded base. Just a weird variant. I don't know much about that. Clearly early to mid 30s, because that's when branded bases were the thing. But I found it very weird that it says Type 24A, which is exactly what it is, but just weirdly marked. And as you know, I like weird variants. Here we have a nice Sylvania SY 551. Nice early Sylvania. I do like it when this kind of first generation Sylvania stuff, they had the SY prefix and SX prefix. And often these have a very nice green oak leaf decal on the glass, generally up here at the dome. This one's missing it, but hey, like I said, 50 cents. I mean, you gotta have it. Now, some of these tubes I bought, specifically to put in my inventory for repair or sale. 25Z5, yeah, it's just a rectifier, but new in the box. And, this was used in a million zillion types of radios in the 1930s. Sort of like the proto All-American 5. That was the rectifier. Now this. Yeah, okay, we got National Union, 12A7. This is one of my favorite boxes. I mean, I just love this mid-30s roughly color scheme. It's I don't know, it's unlike many other companies, their color schemes. The National Union did this sort of gray-green with silver ink and black, and I think this thing is sharp. And that's a real nice looking box. Now, a 12A7, I'm pretty sure I have a 12A7 from National Union, but the box is a spectacular condition. Moving on. Here we have an old Crosley box. And inside was a, what is that, a 25A6G. Old power output tube, I believe, late 30s. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I've got 25A6s. Wasn't sure if I had a Crosley. And yeah, I know it's hard to see the branded bases here. Yeah, it does indeed say Crosley. Now, of course, Crosley didn't make tubes. They had, I think generally it was Ken Rad that made Crosley tubes. Another Philco, an 84 rectifier. Once again, it's just for stock. And a 6D6 from Philco, which is a very similar to, and once again, this box falling apart. 6D6, very similar to the 6C6, in fact. A lot of radios use both 6C6 and 6D6. Now here, maybe my second favorite box, and yes, it's National Union again. Green's a little different. This time they went with gold ink and threw a bunch of red. And this is a 19 dual Triode, I believe. And I don't know which came first, if this box or this box came first. I don't know. But very similar time frame, mid-30s. And I do like this one a little better, but oh, I like this color scheme as well. I mean, it's just a 19, once again, nothing special for the tube, but this box is in pretty darn good shape. There's a little bit going on there, but I think I could live with it. Once again, I think it was 50 cents. Now, unfortunately, National Union, oh, they went to one of the most boring, ugly boxes ever. Late 30s. What is this? This is once again another 25Z5. So I bought this for my stock. But yeah, it's oh, what an awful box. I mean, yeah, it's green, but bad job, guys. 6F7, once again, new in the box. Pretty good shaped box. But yeah, this is a good old tube from the late 1930s. Kind of a ham favorite tube. You could make a nice little one tube receiver with these things. But once again, just going into stock. All right, getting out of the box ones. Oh, I did find this. It's just a mini. Come on, focus there. But kind of an oddball number, 6R8. You don't really see too many of these, so I figured I might as well pick it up. You never know when you're going to need one. But yeah, let's start looking at some of the loose tubes, and there were a lot. And here's another Sylvania. It's got a nice sticker there, and there, that's the decal, the oak leaf decal. This one's in pretty good shape. This is it's an SY224 with a big brand on the base. Nice. I like Sylvania tubes. We've got, what do we have here? What do we have here? We've got Sonatron. Name I'm not real familiar with. But yeah, I got it because it's an oddball brand. Once again, made by one of the big makers, very likely, and just branded for them. And here is Brunswick, Type 51. Brunswick. Was that a New Jersey store? May have been. But yeah, a store-branded tube. You pay RCA enough money, yeah, they'll brand whatever you want in the base. Good old Zenith with the big Z. Yeah, it's just a 79, but I'm a bit of a completionist, so yes, I'd like to get the whole line of Zenith branded base tubes. I know it's a silly goal, but I mean, someone's got to do it. Actually, there are collectors. I'm not the only one. RCA Victor 6S7G. Probably bought it for my stock. Here's a Globe 224. RCA. Nothing special. Probably just for stock. Here's a National Union 2A6 with the branded base. Wasn't sure if I had a National, so I had to get it. 2B7. General Electric Canada. So yeah, with a slightly odd variation of the base. You can see like the bottom is curved a bit. So yeah, I don't know what was going on there, where they were getting their bases from, but it's got a little bit of a curve. Interesting. Gotta love all the little minor details. Good old National Union NY235. So yes, they put the NY prefix on their tubes, but yes, this is just a 235, or what would become the 35/51. I don't know what this is. Oh, there we go. Triade. Okay, Triade. I always pick up Triads. Triade was one of the not huge makers, but a significant maker in the 1930s, early 1930s, and essentially they basically didn't last out the Depression. They just didn't survive. Along with Arcturus, they were the other kind of fairly major manufacturer that just didn't quite make it. Yes, you do see Arcturus in the 50s, but yeah, that's just rebranding. It's I don't know if it was the same company or if someone just bought the rights to the name, but Arcturus was not making tubes past the Depression. And Triad is the same way. They're pretty good tubes, but unfortunately, their business just didn't make it. They're kind of scarce, so I do pick them up whenever I can. All right, I got an RCA 6K5. Not a terribly common tube, so yeah, I just got it for my stock. A little dirty. I haven't washed any of these tubes. When they go into the collection, I tend to clean them up a bit. Raytheon VT49 branded base. I bought this because, yes, this is a 1930s Signal Corps tube made for the U.S. Army Signal Corps. And, yes, this is a real mid-30s one, being a branded base. Yeah, sure, they used VT49s way into World War II on some of the older gear, but those have printed bases. So this one with the branded base, hey, I know that's an authentic mid-30s. I might say 1936, 1937. Hey, I might have a radio that uses this. Moving on. Very faint. An all-wave. All-wave 24A. I can almost barely not see the branding, but I've never heard of that brand. Nice Raytheon 6D6. Just like the Philco that was in the box before. This one has the nice original sticker on them. So many times these stickers are beaten up. It's got the little lot code on it. But I do like finding these when the big red and blue sticker is still intact. 4-pillar radio tube. You can't see it on this particular tube because the getter gets in the way. But yes, that was Raytheon's thing, is the stem inside, internal structure, is kind of based on 4 posts set 90 degrees apart. The stem is pinched like a cross. And that was our 4-pillar radio tube. And they were a bit more rugged than the normal tube. Here we have a nice RCA Globe 39. I mean, you don't see these too much. I mean, most of the time you'll see 3944s. It was one of those weird tubes where actually 2 tubes came out and they were so similar that they decided just to combine numbers. So most of them that you see are 39/44s. This is just an early one where it was just a 39. Here's another older Raytheon with a bigger red tag. Just an ER-224, just a 24, but they gave it the ER prefix. Oh, there. Can you see the... maybe you can see how it's actually set up like a cross. The pinching on the stem there, set up like a cross. And yes, there's 4 sides, 4 pillars to this tube. And that was their big thing, their big selling mark. And finally here, just a Jan 1D8 GT. For some reason, guys like these things. It's a little battery tube with an awful lot of tube in there. I think there are 3 sections to this thing. And let's see if we can open up real fast. There we go. But yeah, there's an awful lot going on in there. And I think guys make 1-tube radios with these. Otherwise, it's just kind of a standard World War II era battery tube, probably for some test set. So it's going into stock. Okay, that's the first bag. Let's move on to the second. Okay, second bag. So let's start out. Well, we've got an RCA 1V. Kind of an odd, weird single diode. And I'm pretty sure I have a 1V, but I don't know if I had a branded base one. RCA with the meatball. Got a Sylvania 6K5 GT. Yeah, pretty standard too, but good for stock. Oh, here's another National Union box, which is not particularly attractive. I mean, they had a couple of good years, and then, they come up with this and that other one. It's a 1F4 battery tube. Oh, it's still sealed. I won't be able to open it up. But yeah, just a battery tube. Guys like these things, so I bought this for my stock. All right, interesting military pact here. Yep, Jan 6AB7, as used in the Helicrafters receivers that went to World War II. So, yeah, clearly bought for stock. Okay, I bought quite a few of these boxes here, and it's got an NSN here, tube, 2 each, so there are 2 tubes in here. So I got 2 tubes for 50 cents in this case. And I think these are just computer rated. What were they? Computer rated 6J6s? Yeah, probably 5964s. And of course, you guys know how much I like hoarding computer tubes, because one of these days, a 709 or something like that is going to land in my lap. We'll find out, so I better stock up with these. Here I got a bunch of Jan 1S5 battery tubes, very standard military stuff, also used in a lot of 1940s portable sets. Standard little 7-pin mini battery tube, but I bought these for my stock. And, well, we got some tungstens here. Nice sleeve of them. 1960. So this is kind of late in the game for these. But, hey, the military uses a radio. If a military likes a radio, they use it for a long time. Another one of these. I bought several. And another one. I don't know how many of those little 5964s. Yeah, here are a couple more. I'm not going to open each one because they're all the same. So, yep, here's another Philco 6C6, and once again, maintenance and repair. Gosh, how many of these did I buy? A lot. But I did get some mini tubes, and this is a number, 7245. I don't know what that number is. So I bought some of these. I bought maybe 5 or so. And I still don't know what it is. It looks like some sort of thyrotron, but a very, very weird structure. Let's see if I can get really close in on there. Yeah, I'm not sure what this thing is. I might have to research this a little more, but it's a very, very unique structure. But otherwise, just a plain old 7-pin mini. May be useful, may not. I'm guessing probably useless. Oh, it's another Triode. This is later in the game, probably late 30s, when they were starting to print the bases instead of brand the base. But pretty standard tube. Looks like, what is that? A 6A6 dual Triode. I'm almost certain I don't have a Triode 6A6, but I do now. Oh, it's a Gruno 37 with a very nice mesh plate. Just a Triode. Very pretty when these are lit up because, of course, you see the glow through the plates. Oh, it's another one of these boxes. Another National Union. This is a NU237. Oh, this box is not in as good a shape. And well, here you can see it's a globe. I think it's a globe. Let's find out. Yeah, National Union used these very interesting... Whoa, there's the box fell apart. Well, that's all right. Also, it looks like they reused the box. Look at that. It's... Internally, it's marked NX231, but NU237. So they remarked a bunch of their boxes. But yeah, they use these kind of cool molded paper pulp holders. Very cool. And a nice looking globe. I mean, globes are great, aren't they? So yeah, it's a problem with these old boxes. They tend to be extremely fragile, and a lot of times they're just too far gone. I mean, yeah, it ripped, but you know, these things rip. It's that other one that's in much nicer shape. I'm going to be very careful with this, or that box. This box, I'm more into it for the actual tube. Here's a sleeve of 6 BH6s. Pretty standard stuff. Ham tube. A lot of ham receivers use these. Yeah, clearly just stock. 6L5. Yeah, there's some audio guys that like these. It's yeah, it's not a real remarkable tube, but we'll open it up anyway. I forget who made this particular one. Oh, it's a Wizard. Yeah, okay, yeah, Wizard. That's a brand you see. I think that was Western Auto Parts. I may be wrong there. But yeah, it's one of those store brands. And this kind of... Well, actually, I don't... Yeah, that's an RCA, I think. That looks like an RCA. Could be wrong, though. Another 6AB7, military packed. That one's for Admiral. But no doubt one of the guys that's fixing the Hallicrafters will want that. 43 RCA. Fairly unremarkable. going into stock. Sylvania 6K5. Another ugly, ugly National Union box. This one's got a 59 in it. Let's see if we can get it out. 59 is kind of a beefy tube. Oh, this box is in terrible shape. And look at how dirty the tube is. And now my table is all dirty. 59, yes, this is actually pretty beefy tube that hams in the late 30s would make transmitters out of these things. Because, I mean, look at that. That's a good sized tube. You can make a little HF transmitter and not use an expensive transmitting tube. I might have to reassemble this box later on. I'm just going to put it here and deal with that later, because let's face it, you don't want to see me just put together boxes. Oh yeah, here's a couple more of these weird 7245s. Well, I bought quite a few of them. Yeah, so I guess I bought, here's yet another one. There may be some in other bags too, I don't know. And you have even more 5964s. I mean, but hey, if I ever do get a 709 or something like that, I'll have gripes. I might need hundreds of them. Zenith 79. Another one, yeah. Sometimes when I get duplicate tubes, I'll pick the better one. Good old Arcturus. 58, 1930s. After the blue era, they started making very conventional looking tubes. And yes, like I said before, they didn't really survive the Great Depression. Here's a Crosley like we looked at before, but however, this one says made in USA by Ken Rad. So yeah, 6U7G, pretty standard 1930s, kind of late 1930s receiver tube. 1613. This, yeah, I bought it because it's an oddball. I think this might be a selected 6F6. A little bit of an oddball. World War II era, VT-175. I don't know what these were used in, but cheap, so I purchased it. And 1619. Big old 6L6 oid. It's based off the 6L6, but these were used in, I think, World War II tank radios, and I think it's a quick heating filament. Yeah, and you can see they always look like this. Always look like hell, because these things, when they're in operation, you can burn your finger off of them. They get incredibly hot, and the paint always suffers. Almost at the end of this, here we have a Tungsten 26Z5W, pretty standard military rectifier. Collins Gear uses this. I just bought it for stock. Here we go. 0528. This, I think, is a Sage tube. I've never seen one in a box like this. Let's see if we can pull it out. Sure enough, yep. It is a Sage tube, which, interestingly enough, doesn't actually have Sagey looking markings on it. It's got standard GE looking markings, but hey, why not? Yeah, so 0528 is actually the last four digits of the IBM part number. It's actually, the real number, I think, is 3000528. I just found that to be weirdly marked. And now, bag number 3. not as big. Well, gee, it's a 39 globe. And sure enough, it's a nice 39 globe. Now, who made this one here? Ooh, let's get it in the frame. Kenrad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't have a Kenrad 39 in the globe. So, yeah, nice. '56 globe. I like globe tubes if you hadn't figured that out. Sure enough, nice little triode. RCA. Yeah, good tube. Sort of like a 27, but a bit different. There are indeed guys that make amplifiers using 56s. 6C7G. But it says shield. That's what attracted me here. Come on, box. Oh, it's going to be a difficult box. Let's get it from the other side. Yeah, sometimes the knife trick doesn't work all that well. Now this is interesting. It does indeed have a built-in shield. It has a Cunningham mark. So it does kind of look, the base does kind of look like an RCA Cunningham base. So if I were to take that kind of spring clip off, there should be a Cunningham 6C7. But I found it very interesting that it actually has the nice stamped metal, just tin, but the stamped metal shield already built into the tube. That was a thing that didn't last too long. Only a couple of years maybe did they do the metal shielded tubes. Okay, looks like another 56 globe, and sure enough. Oh, that's a Zenith. Nice. For use with last audio stage only. So yes, it is indeed a UX 171. They nearly always have that sticker. Very standard. Late 20s in your lineup. You'd have a bunch of 201As. Then at the very, very end, audio stage, you have a 171. Yeah, I got a million of these, but hopefully it's a good one. It'll go into stock. A 15. That's kind of a little bit of an oddball number. Whenever I see a 15, I tend to pick them up because they really aren't too common. They're almost always Philcos. In fact, Philco may be the only people that actually ever used a 15. Top of my head, I want to maybe say they're for farm sets. Don't quote me on that. 84, so it ought to be a rectifier. And sure enough, standard little 84. It's Philco for stock. .44 globe. So yeah, remember I was talking about the 39 globes? Well, this is a 44 globe, and it is almost the exact same tube, and that is why only a couple of years into the introduction, they were almost always marked 39/44s. This is a Philco, very nice looking Philco, and it still has the nice label on it. Most of the time these Philco tags fall off. The glue dries out. It was the mid-1930s. It's amazing this one's still on there and still in good shape, not all beat up. So yes, back in the box for protection. 1626. This is, of course, the Triode used in Arc 5 command sets, World War II. So, yes, for stock. And, yeah, the box is a little busted. It's a cute little tube. Some of the audio guys like these, too. But, yeah, so one of the Arc 5 military guys will end up with that, no doubt. Big 8236. Small transmitting tube, but kind of a little bit of an oddball. Check out those plates. Yeah, a bit of an oddball. I didn't have one. I figured, you know what? I'll kick it around a little bit, see what it's all about. But yeah, it's a heavy tube. Oh, we got some minis, 59, 15s, more computer tubes. More computer tubes. And yes, even more computer tubes. 5844, 5964. IBM liked these. And what's this? Philco 01 and a W. Well, I bet you that doesn't mean works. Yeah, no doubt this is probably weak, but that's okay. You know, the thing with 01As, and this is a pretty late one, one being it's the ST bulb here. Occasionally, even a weak one will be good enough to use in a radio. All right, this is a short bag. We're almost to the end here. Oh, I like this. I remember this. Here is another Wizard. I think it's probably the same brand, but I've never seen one with a nice sticker. And look at that. The sticker's in wonderful condition. Now, you can see that someone has epoxied the base. The base was loose at some point. Yeah, I'll have to get in there with a dental pick. Get all that out of there. It says good. Get all that out of there and do a much cleaner job of getting that base tightened up. But that's a nice sticker. I like that tube. And a National Union, because, well, yeah, as you can tell, I like National Union tubes. But what do we have here? NU 89, so just a standard 89. Okay, for those of you still with us, bag number 4. It's another kind of shorty here. Not too many tubes in this one. I did get a number of these. People call them potato mashers. This weird looking tube. People also call them Frankenstein tubes for, well, pretty obvious reasons. These were kind of a 1950s and 60s thing to make a super high reliability rectifier. It's just a 5R4, so pretty standard military rectifier, but they gave it this super low loss, super rigid base, and this maybe toughened glass. They thought it was a great idea, and they tend to be really good tubes. Occasionally they do go gassy. Well, all tubes go gassy, but when you run these things, test them out. Yeah, do a gas check. And what you can do is while you're doing your gas check, look at it from the top here, and well, hey, if you see a little bit of purple glow, you got gas. But these are going into stock. I mean, I've got a zillion of them already, but hey, people keep buying them. So yeah, these were pretty good ones. These are Chathams. Occasionally you see Citrons, which are maybe not as nice. But yeah, these are Chathams. Chatham, of course, was connected with Tungsten. But yeah, I got a lot of Zenith tubes. And yeah, here is a Z24. Just a 24, but Zenith. A nice branded base. Here's an Arcturus, late 30s Arcturus. What's the tube? 25L6. Look at that. That's the ST style of 25L6. Most of the time when you see 25L6s, they are the shorty little GTs. So, yeah, 25L6. That tube is used in IBM key punch equipment for relay drivers. However, I don't know if this one will fit because, well, it's considerably taller than the 25L6 GTs that IBM uses. In any case, no, it's an Arcturus. It goes in the collection. I got plenty of standard IBM and stock, regular RCA and Sylvania 25L6s. I've got, I don't know, a couple hundred of them. I'm set. All right, finally a transmitting tube. It's a Hytron HY69. Nice looking tube, late 30s. Got some test results, 3838. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but no gas. So nice looking tube. And looking at it, doesn't look like it's had much use, because if you look at the white insulators inside, they're not very blackened. So yeah, that might not have a whole lot of hours on it. So that's good. Oh, another potato masher. Here's the oddball. I don't know anything about this. 5516 CBS Hytron. And yes, that CBS is indeed the television network. They bought Hytron. And short little squatty Tetrode. I don't know what that is, but looked kind of neat. Not real familiar with it. It was probably $1 or something like that, maybe $2. It was cheap, so I got it. And yeah, 5Y3. Can't have too many of them. And finally, for this bag, just an 832A. I bought this because I do have a guy that takes every one of them. He can get every one of them I got. He wants them, and this one's still got a nice getter. These things go gassy a lot, and yeah, this is probably an unused tube. Well, once again, those white insulators aren't all covered with. It's basically filament material that gets deposited onto this white ceramic. Well, this one, yeah, that I don't see any. You would see it kind of down there, but that still looks pretty white. So probably a unused tube. All right, last bag, and it's kind of a biggie. Let's get started. Tungsten 3944. See what I was telling you about when they combine numbers? Well, here is the result. You put two numbers on, they're nearly the identical, the same tube. So, hey, call it by both numbers. Fulltone. And judging from the base, look how tall that base is. Just long the base is. I'm going to guess it's a carton. That's their thing, these long bases, but I've never heard of Fulltone. And it looks like it's an 01A. Doesn't have any other markings, just this Fulltone sticker. So yeah, probably a fly-by-night operation. All right, I found this interesting. It's a 27, but it's labeled Songbird. Now, what's interesting is you find radio parts made by Songbird, like variable capacitors and such like that, transformers. I've never seen a tube branded for Songbird. Now, like I said, no doubt they had someone else make this, like RCA or something. Who knows? But they contracted to have have their own brand on the base. Neat. Just a nice 35 RCA. It's got that base I really like. That was the last base, the style of printing that is, before World War II. There's a Ken Rad 3551. Pretty sure I already have one, but no doubt this came from the 50-cent bins. So, hey, that's use the shotgun approach. Just buy everything and sort it out later. But yeah, here's a nice Silvertone 227. Here's another interesting one. This is a UV 201A here. Tell by the shorty pins. And neat. The brand is Thoria 5VT. So, yes, this was no doubt the exalting the new thoriated tungsten filaments. So they called it Thoria. Well, that's my guess. FG probably means fair to good. Don't know who actually made this. It could have been this company called Thoria. It's hard to say. This being probably mid-1920s, there were zillions and zillions of manufacturers of 201As. I think at last count, they were up to like 650 different brands. And yeah, some of these were real fly-by-night operations, lasted only a few months. This may be one of them. I don't know. Tip Top. Never heard of them. What is this? Looks like a 6A6. Yes, it's a 6A6. But Tip Top. That's Ken Rad 34. Clearly stock. There are guys out there looking for 34s. There's a little Sylvania, probably an 84. Yeah, 84 6Z4. They gave it a dual number. Oh, finally, blue, Arcturus blue. Yeah, I bought a plastic bin full of tubes, and they were just kind of junk tubes, but in it were two blue Arcturuses. Very likely 24s. Filthy tube. Yep, there it says 24 right there. But, I mean, Arcturus blues, you just have to have them. There's a good old UX 201A. Weak. But yeah, good old 201. And once again, weak is not a death sentence for those. Okay, now this one's interesting. It says guess 12A, so someone thinks it might be a 112A. But what I found interesting, and it's not really showing up on the picture, but the base is kind of a swirly brown, green, black. And yeah, I don't think you can see, you might be able, yeah, you can see a little bit of the pattern. Don't know who made this though. Unmarked. There's another one of these Thorias. Here's another 59. This one's a Sylvania. You see a lot of Sylvania 59s. I think most 59s were made by Sylvania. Or maybe that's just how I'm seeing them. But yeah, I do tend to pick these up because guys like them. So clearly a stock tube. It's an RCA 35. Pretty standard. Another Zenith 79. I might have picked up 3 of these. I mean, I was just grabbing. You know, one thing you have to realize is there's competition at these shows, and there'll be 4 or 5 guys going through the same pile of tubes. So you kind of take what you can. Here's a nice Tungsten 27. Nice big brand on the base there. Good tube. And of course, you know, most of these are untested, and so you just kind of have to take your chances. Cunningham 55. Neat that this one doesn't actually say anything about RCA, but we know it's RCA. Another Silvertone 57. Branded base. Oh, another Sonotron. And a 57. So yeah, a brand I'm just not familiar with. Oh, look at the getter on this one. Actually, the getter thing that holds the pellet is this weird big disc. I've never seen a getter like that. Huh, odd. See, worth it just for that. Here's a 33 from Silvertone. Nice tetrode, I think. Ward Super Airline. Yep. Department store tube. And it's a 34. Oh, hey, check this out. Check the rainbow out on this one. I mean, it's just an 01A Cunningham, big deal, but wow. And this is a dirty tube. I have yet even cleaned this up. Man. It's like looking into the universe. Yeah, that's generally, and yes, I did get another one too, a little bit of a tighter rainbow, but yeah, that's the different films and such like that. Some impurity in the getter material, I believe, that it's like interference patterns that create that rainbow effect. And those were too good to pass up. All right, just a nice 201A standard. Probably going to stock. I've got so many UX 201As. And not all that many radios that use them, to tell you the truth. Yep, Ward's 34. This one is a branded base version now. Philco 33. Another 59, Sylvania. This one's a branded base one. It says good. Well, we'll see. You know, that test may have been done in 1943. Who knows? Ward's 57. Super Airline. That was their brand of radios. Here's another brand I'm not real familiar with. I may have one of these. It's a Republic. It's a 25Z5 standard rectifier. But yes, Republic branded into the base. We got a Coronado. Decent box. I mean, it's not great shape, but it's a pretty box. I like it. But yeah. 1930s branded base 38. Standard tube, but kind of a cool box. And yeah. Gamble stores. Here's a World War II issue 84 rectifier. Stock. Into stock. Just like this, 6G. World War II. Guys like them. Aha, an 816. Get this open and yes, it's the tube that makes the holy blue glow. And yes, this is the baby brother of the 866. And guys really like these things, and they're kind of hard to find, actually. 866s are very easy to find, but 816s, not so much. And there are actually a few military sets that use 816s in the power supply. Here's kind of an oddball that I bought. I'll put it into stock. 50C6G. It's an output tube, but it's just, it's just one of those that's just not very common. So I decided, you know what, put it into stock. Someone's going to need it someday. Here's a cardan, and you can see that long, tall base. C484, just a Triode, more or less kind of like a 27. Ooh, there goes the bottom of that. Sylvanius 6Z5 rectifier. Oak leaf version. I like those. All right. Super Air Castle 19 Twin Triode. Thought it was a neat brand. I've seen these before. I forget which store was that their trade name, the Air Castle. Eveready Raytheon ER58, but unfortunately, as you can see, the sticker is long gone. Here, another transmitting tube. RCA 834. It's probably wartime issue, but weird two-headed thing. Yeah, this was an early VHF Triode. And yes, the reason why they take the grid out of the top as well as the plate is to lower the capacitance. Neat tube. Canrad 34, stock. Another one of these nice National Union boxes. This one's a 6E6. Not a real common tube. I didn't think I had one, and plus, hey, got one of these nice National Union boxes. Another 6G6. And yeah, sometimes boring tubes like this, 6X5 GT, just for stock. All right. This should be very recognizable to certain people out there. Why? It's an IBM tube. This is an IBM 25L6 GT, as used in 026 key punches forever. Yeah, I literally probably have 300 or 400 25L6 GTs, maybe 50 of which are IBM and 50 of which are Remington Rands, but I always get them if they're marked as such. Yeah, just an OC3 gas regulator. This stock. But yeah, this is one of these. If I can get it out. Why are you stuck? Don't be stuck. But yeah, it's a nice clean one, brand new. Gas regulator tube. Glows a pretty colors when they're powered up. All right, we're getting down. National Union looks like a 33. Oh yeah, it's very faintly marked, and someone has circled the number and written it there. And a Ward's 32 branded base. All right, we're getting to the end here. Here's a Delco 41 in a very plain box. Very dirty box. But yeah, stock. I tend to sell a lot of 41s for some reason. Another Raytheon with the older tag. We've seen one of these before. All right, we're getting down to the very end here. Another Tungsten 6F7 branded base. Fulltone 230 Triode. This was actually, these 30s were actually early VHF tubes. Hams found out that you could kind of push these things way up there. You might even get to 40 or 50 megahertz with these things because it was just a very simple triode. Another Raytheon. Are we done yet? Stock. All right. We're closing in here. 6N6GT. So, not quite the original integrated circuit, but close to it. 6N6 is very interesting because there are two triodes in there. Unfortunately, this is a black plate one, so you can't really see, or black glass one, so you can't really see. But the two triodes, actually, one triode is driving the other triode, and there actually is a built-in resistor to link the two sections of tubes together. So this really was a very early kind of form of integrated circuits. GM, genuine parts. All right. 5T4 rectifier, big metal tube. And finally, one of the, oh, nope, not finally. We've got another IBM tube. But these things, interesting things. These are pin lights. These look like pin lights. They're 7-segment displays, but incandescent. And hopefully they're good because they always burn out. Yeah, little 7-segment displays for all you Nixie tube and Pneumatron guys. These are actually fairly similar to Pneumatrons, but I forget who made them. Might be a Japanese company. But yeah, I saw these and basically near some tubes. And I was like, oh, they're kind of neat. I better get them. Oh boy, well, you made it to the end of the tubes. Actually, no, you didn't. I bought a whole lot more tubes, but they're all stock. Standard octals and minis and things like that. Stuff to resell. I'm not going to bore you with that. I probably bored you enough. Right? This is by far my longest video. And yeah, I probably need to shut up now. So, hey, thanks for watching all the way through. Click a like, spread it around, share it around. Hey, you want to become a patron? I love my patrons. And thank you very much for you guys that throw me $1 or so a month. Hey, if you have any questions, comments, or such like that, why not leave one? I've got a little bit of little data mining to do to find out about some of these weirder tubes. I'll get online, maybe look at tube lore, find out, especially those little mini tubes with that very weird structure. I still don't know what those are, so I got to find that out. So yeah, leave a like, comment, all that kind of good stuff. All right, you guys have had enough. Talk to you later. Bye.